I'm going to cover one more new topic called learning under organizational behavior, and I'll make sure I'll add index in the description so you can go to the relevant topic directly. So let's get started. So first is learning. So it's a perpetual activity which will never end. So as soon as you think you are done with something, there is a new concept waiting for you to learn, right? So we have this definition given, the official definition, that it is simply an act of acquiring new or modifying the existing behavior, knowledge, skills, etc. So everything comes under what are we learning. It might be a tangible thing, or it might be something like we are trying to make, so intangible thing. Now next is our theories of learning. So first theory is the classical conditional theory. So in this, let me explain you with an example. So Ivan Pavlov, we have a dog's experiment done for explaining this. So what happened is, when the dog food was brought, and dog's knows, okay, there is a dog food, he can identify the smell, so he comes with an interesting behavior. Look, yeah, I'm happy now. Okay, so next time, in the second thing, when no food but we ring a bell, okay, at that time dog doesn't comes. Okay, so that was the second stage. The first stage was when we give food, dog will be happy and he will come. And the next in the next stage, when we ring a bell, dog will not be interested in that ringing of bell, so he will not come. In the third part, what we will do is, we'll give a food and we'll ring the bell both at the same time. So if this thing happens for a number of times, then there will be a perception in dog's mind. Okay, so bell will be ringing when the food is waiting for me. So in the fourth stage, when I'll be only ringing the bell, not food is not there, but I'll be only ringing the bell. So this time onwards, the dog will also be attracted towards the ringing the bell. So what happened here is, we brought the change in the behavior by having that ringing bell coming into picture, which the dog is not even interested. Okay, so based on this, we are seeing what is the response of dog based on the stimulus. So initially he was not at all interested in the bell ringing, but now he is, because we have made such a perception in dog's mind that ringing of bell means food is waiting for you. So that was a classical conditioning theory given by Ivan Pavlov. Next is the operant or instrumental conditioning. Okay, so what this says is changes. What this says is, we can bring a change in the behavior as a result of any event or stimulus. Okay, we can say, here the rat experiment was done. Okay, what happened in that was, a rat was kept in a cage or a box where it was roaming randomly. Okay, but suddenly it pressed a button. So pressing of button gave him some food. Okay, and now the first time it happened, so rat might think it was happened coincidentally, but this thing happened n number of times. Then a perception came to rat's mind that, okay, whenever I want food, I need to press this button. Okay, now this pressing of button became a part of his behavior. So all this, as a conclusion, we can say the reward, that is a food, brought the behavior change in the rat. Okay, so that was instrumental conditioning theory. So that if you want food, condition is you need to press the button. So this was given by B.F. Skinner. Third theory is the cognitive learning theory. This says that we will not learn anything just because you want to learn. Okay, there will be some encouragement, there will be some modification. So overall, what it says is, when there is some change, some modification in the perception of the individual's world, at that time we'll be ought to learning. Okay, so the components of this information processing for learning is these 7 components which you can see on screen. So first is sensory memory. So sensory memory is the memory which we will be remembering for just small amount of time. Okay, we saw something and then we talked another sentences, then we got back to our original stage and we forgot. Okay, now next is select attention. So this is related to the perceptual selectivity concept. So where it is like, when we are sitting in a park and we are seeing people are playing and doing all the stuff, so that complete picture is there in front of our eyes, but we will not process each and every object in the picture. Okay, so it is based on our past experience, our personality, our thoughts, our mind, our mindset, our behavior. Based on all these things, we'll capture only certain objects in the picture which will be processed. So that is called selection attention. So only based on our personality we'll be selecting some of the objects which will be processed uh, se- uh, by our mind to create the perception. Okay, next is the pattern recognition. So it is like as I mentioned that okay, there's one topic which you have learned. Now the extension of that topic came. So because you are familiar with the topic, you can see okay, this was the behavior initially. Now the extension is talking about this thing in the previous behavior that was talked in the previous topic. So that is like if you are aware of the pattern what is happening, you can also continue with what is happening the next onwards. So that is called pattern recognition. Short term memory, it's simply which we remember for short time. Unlike sensory memory, it's like when you are learning, okay, or when you are playing a game, there was some incident happen which is not such a significant incident, like you are recording something and something wrong went, okay, that is not very significant, but you will remember this situation for some days, but after many days you will forget this because this is not something which affected you a lot. Okay, so that was short term memory. Now rehearsal and chunking. So when you suppose you are learning dance, okay, you learned it but again you forgot it after some time, so that is short term memory. But if you want to have that as a part of your as a part of you, you will be doing practicing of steps, at least small steps, that is small chunks again and again, so that is rehearsal. So for able to remember something for a long time or to make it as a part of you, you need to do rehearsal and chunking. Next is the encoding. So here we can see like while writing exam we use the shortcuts, like we have ocean thing, okay, openness, conciseness, other thing. So we try to form an abbreviation or we'll try to form a different encodings of different formulas so that we can if we are able to remember the shortcut, we could able to interpret and write the complete formula. So that kind of learning is called encoding. Okay, now next is long term memory. So as previously we have seen in rehearsal and chunking, we were practicing again and again all those steps. So because of that, as a result of that, we will be able to remember the dance completely. Okay, so that is a long term memory. Now the last year is a social learning theory. So here it is said that you will be learn only when you will be involving in the public. Okay, you will socialize yourself. Okay, whatever you have seen, whatever you are doing, you are revising it again and again. So attention when listening to someone carefully. Okay, that is attention. Now you listen, you form the registration in your mind, you interpreted it correctly, but you need to revise it again and again. Okay, now the study says that whatever you are learning, okay, it will go like you are listening from one ear and it will leave from other ear, but unless you have some authority, you have some accountability of what you are learning, until that authority comes to you, you will not be learning with the complete intention. Okay, so that's why our reproduction says that whatever you are learning, try to teach it to someone. Okay, and if you are teaching, you will be understanding what is the points that you are unable to understand, so you will get back to the retention thing and you will try to revise all those points, and again you will go to third point, that is reproduction. Now the fourth motivation is thing, when you are teaching to someone, okay, you revised it and again you taught it to someone, that person was good with the concept, he'll give you some compliments. Okay, we are learning for exam, we got good marks, so that is motivation. So this was a social learning theory. So overall we have four theories, that is classical conditioning in which dogs experiment was done, operant learning in which rat experiment was done, cognitive learning in which we had 7 components, and finally social learning in which we had 4 steps, in which 2 and 3 steps are repeating again and again. Right, now our next topic is reinforcement. So what reinforcement is a self-explanatory. Okay, you are enforcing something again and again so that the person in which we are doing the reinforcement is feeling good and he'll be trying to continue with the behavior, the positive behavior of course. So we'll try to reinforce in such a way that person moves in a positive direction. Okay, now we have 4 components: positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment in which we have positive and negative punishment, and extinction. So first is positive reinforcement. So positive reinforcement means whenever someone is doing good, we are simply either appraising or you can say you are giving a compliment. This small kind of things will motivate the person, so that is called positively reinforcement. Okay, so we are motivating him to move in a positive direction by doing something positive. Okay, now the second point is negative reinforcement. Just focus on these statements. We are making the person to move in a positive direction by doing something negative. Got it? So positive means moving person in a positive direction by doing something positive. Negative reinforcement means moving the person in a right direction by doing something negative. So here we can say encouraging good behavior among employees by removing situation or stimulus that may lead to undesirable behavior. We can say that okay, all the sports are available in your reach, so you can go out and play anytime, every day. Okay, but there will be some condition on that. Okay, so you cannot play more than 2 hours. So that is some kind of undesirable situation that we removed, so that we can have a good reinforcement on the person. So that was negative reinforcement. Now third point is the punishment. So punishment is you can here we can say that punishment is for sure. Okay, the person is going to suffer. Okay, unlike reinforcement, whether is going to suffer or not, in punishment person is going to suffer. Okay, now positive and negative means, positive means we are going to add something to give the punishment. Okay, negative means we are going to take away something. Just I'll repeat this sentence. Punishment is the person is going to suffer, but positive punishments means we are adding something in the situation to give the punishment. Negative punishment means we are removing something from the situation to give the punishment. Now let's get to the proper definition. Positive punishment means adding a negative consequence after bad behavior is emitted. Okay, it's like you're beating your child so that he don't go out in the rain and play. So that is something we added in the situation, that is a beating thing. Okay, and the negative punishment is means, okay, you're 24/7 you're playing your PlayStation, so that PlayStation is removed from the situation. So it is the person is suffering, but here you remove something. So positive means adding something to the situation, negative means removing something from the situation. So that was punishment. And extinction is like when you are completely ignoring, that's it, nothing else. Okay, if there is something good going on and you ignored it, that good will be gone, that will be extinct. If there is something bad going on, you ignored it, that bad will happen to you. Okay, as you know, that positive and negative goes in the opposite direction. So for doing the positive things we need encouragement, and if it is not there, that will be nullified. But for negative things, if you are like not correcting him, you are not giving him any kind of punishment, you are not taking care of him, that will be extinct. So he will if you are not taking care of him, that will go in much more negative. Okay, so that was extinction, when we are completely ignoring. Okay, now that was about reinforcement. Next is the learning through reinforcement. So this is called ABC behavior thinking. So as we have seen previously, we had something called encoding learning. So this ABC is like that. So when we are saying ABC learning, we are doing encoding in our mind and we are learning. So here we have 3 steps. Antecedents. So this is the event that occurs before the behavior is depicted. Means something is going to happen with you, but before that some decision is going on at your higher levels, for suppose. Okay, so that is something that is occurring before it came to you, so that you can replicate your behavior. Okay, so before you do something, there is something happening which is going to affect you. I'll repeat this. Before you show your behavior, for that there is some decision is going on previously, like your manager is going to decide, okay, that a new project is going to come which you have to do. So before it came to you, there was this decision was going about that project, which we call as that antecedents. Now behavior means when it comes to you and how the response of you will be at that time. Okay, it might be positive, saying that okay, let's get this started. And the second thing, okay, you are not at all happy with that, and the complete day will be going on with the discussion, and finally you say no. Okay, so this was our behavior. Now consequences means in the behavior, if you said okay, let's get started, so the consequences will be the positive thing. Okay, my employee did this, I need to take care of him in this way, that way, other thing. So that was one of the positive consequences. Now when you in the behavior, when you said as if finally that will not do, then that will have a negative consequences. Not for sure, that was just an example. because if your reasoning is valid, then of course that will also result in the positive consequences. But just for example, what are the output of your behavior? That is called as consequences. So this was ABC behavioral learning. Next is organizational reward system. So here we can say even the bonus or even a small gift can be our monetary and non-monetary rewards. Okay, next is simply a small compliment or appreciation, that is communicating reward at the right time. Okay, and because if you are doing something now and you are getting appraised for it after a year, that will not have any significant impact on you. So that's why communicating reward at the right time. Next is a connects reward with performance result in good for employer. So here it is self-explanatory. When you're doing something good and you're getting appraised, you will be having a proper reasoning. Okay, this was not good, but because you did this in a very good manner, you will be rewarded. So that is how we are connecting. Okay, and more this reward is happening at the correct time, more is the motivation, so which will indirectly again influence on the behavior of a person. Next is a reflex promotion and composition to cover more responsibilities and improve performance. So here we are saying it can be taken in two ways. One is you were given promotions because of your previous work and identified your capability of doing. Okay, and the second thing is because there was no one to take a position and you were being given a good amount of compensations and all, so that you can take the position. Okay, so this overall says the rewards is related with your promotions and your positions as well. Now the next is provides opportunity to link appraisal with the reward system. So this is again a self-explanatory line that even appraisals and all will be coming under the rewards. Now next is the administrative reinforcement. So here we can see previously we saw the types of reinforcements, but now we will see at what is the duration or what is the intervals or in what manner those reinforcements are given. Previously we have studied what are the types of reinforcements. Now we will be see at what in what manner and what duration, in what time intervals or in what ratio this reinforcement will be given. So first is a continuous reinforcement schedule. So in this, like for every time you do something good, you will get either an appraisal or either a positive negative reinforcement. Okay, so this is like very frequent. So this is not used in the current scenarios, because what is the conclusion of continuous reinforcement is that after some duration, okay, if you are still following continuous reinforcement, effect of that will be reduced. Okay, for the first time when you praised, that was really significant, but when the second time a bit little, and the next time we can say nearly to nullify. Okay, so that's how its effect gets reduced. So everyone is moving towards intermittent reinforcement schedule. In that we have four types. So first is fixed interval schedule. So we can say that after a year we have performance review. Okay, so that is something predicting. Okay, so within this duration we need to do this kind of stuff. So that is a fixed interval. But variable interval, like you do something extraordinary within the 2 months, so you got some bonus. Okay, you do something within the 4 months, so here the interval was not fixed. Okay, but interval in the interval in the first point interval was fixed. So that is something like performance review or your semester examination or your final examination, that is fixed. Okay, so before this duration you have to learn and study and get ready for the exam. But in the fixed interval, in the variable interval, we can consider it as a class exam or surprise exam, surprise test, oral exam, that kind of things, for which we are not sure, but if we are good at that, we'll get a bonus kind of thing. So that was just an example. Now next is the fixed ration schedule, fixed ratio schedule. Sorry, that is not ration. Okay, so here it's like the example, if you can see, like after every trend races. So we are the sales example is fit to this concept. So it's like for every 10 dresses you will be getting a bonus or something like that. Okay, so here what happens, when after you sold 10 dresses you will get a reward, but on the 11th dress your motivation will be less, or the 12th dress your motivation will be less. As it is increasing, then your motivation increase, but initially your motivation will not be up to the mark. That's why we have one more new concept called variable ratio schedule. So here for the first time you got in the 10th dresses, but for the next time that target was reduced, and the next time the target got continuously reduced. So at least to have the target reduced, the employee will be continuously motivated at every point, even it is on 11th item or the 12th item. So that is how variable ratio schedule works. So this was all about administrative reinforcement, the way in which the reinforcement, the interval in which reinforcements are given to the employee. Next is impact of punishment, so positive, negative. So this again we can see based on our third punishment here, positive punishment and negative punishment. So here we had a punishment types, but in the bottom if we are clear with this positive and negative punishment, that is fine. But impact doesn't say that if you are doing a positive punishment you will get a positive impact, if you are doing a negative punishment you will get a negative impact. It's nothing like that. Okay, so impact means it can be positive in either of the case, it can be negative in either of the case. So it again depends the scale, the situation, the perception that you or the person who is receiving the punishment is having. So it all depends on the perceptions and the situations and the environment and the significant level of thing that you are adding or removing from the situation. So that is positive or negative impact of punishment. So related to the concept of learning, if you have any queries you can write down in the comment section. I'll add this and explanation link in the description as well. That's it. Thank you.